Andrew Preface?
Yeah, Preface.
Preface, nice. Where are you calling from today, man?
From London, bro. North London.
From London. Oh, okay, cool, man. I thought you might be one of our exotic Spurs fans from around the world. Okay, we just had a call and it was pretty miserable the way that we're breaking it down. Anything different here? What do you want to add?
What is there to say? We've been seeing the same crap all season. Nothing's changed. It's kind of followed on from, I hate to say it, the end of the Poch era with the same players doing the same mistakes, and it's typical Tottenham really. All season it's been like that. How many points have we dropped all season? And I can't actually believe we've still got a chance of getting top four, which we're not going to get. But I mean, today's game summed it up again. The defense is a shambles.
Yeah, I mean, we almost don't deserve top four, do we? It's almost like if we do, we're going to fall over the finishing line, somehow stumble over it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the defense was shocking. I mean, everyone's digging out Sanchez, and I get that. I mean, I thought he was ropey today, but also Reguilon. I mean, I think he's no one's calling him out. I thought he was probably the worst player almost. Yeah. Almost.
I agree with you. Reguilon was not himself today. He didn't look fit. He gave the ball away more times than I've ever seen him give the ball away. I thought Rodri was a little bit shaky as well. I have to say, there's certain things you can blame the manager for, and it's, starting lineups is one of them. Now, in terms of how I see the manager, I've said it for years. You can't keep sacking managers. It can't always be the manager's problem. And the reason why we always want managers out is because it's the short-term fix, but sometimes doesn't fix anything. And we're forgetting that some of these players, including Sanchez, are the ones that kind of threw Pochettino under the bus. So,
who did? Which players threw him under the bus?
I mean, there was a lot of players didn't perform for Pochettino in that era, and we can run through half of that team, to be honest with you. So we can't keep blaming the manager.
Hang on. So we're talking Kane, Son, and Lloris are throwing Poch under the bus.
No. I'm not saying Kane, Son, and Lloris, but Sanchez was there when Pochettino was there. Sanchez played in the final of the Champions League. We've been saying for years that Sanchez is not good enough. And so I agree with you. We can't always keep digging him out, but he shouldn't be starting at centre-back. We should have made the decision in the summer to get a centre-back in rather than get the Hollywood signing of Gareth Bale and everything else. But
True.
We already knew that a lot of these players, Aurier, I know he didn't play today, but I'm saying Aurier, Sanchez, the core of the team, they haven't been good.
Clumsy, isn't it?
They haven't been good enough for many years. So it's not Kane, Son, and Lloris. Lloris is one of them that I would ship on, and we need fresh kind of legs in that position. But this is not always the manager's fault. In terms of starting lineup tactics, I can blame the manager. But if you look at that team today, every Spurs fan would have said we want Reguilon to start. Reguilon's had a bad day, fair enough. Rodon and Sanchez again has been shaky. I mean, Rodon's young. You've got to be careful kind of how you deal with Rodon, but he's young.
He's the same age as Sanchez.
I know. This is the problem. But also the other thing is about Rodon. He hasn't played at this level like as many years as Sanchez has. So we can't really put too much kind of pressure on him at the moment because let's be honest, he came in and he probably didn't even think that he'd have this many games for Tottenham. It's only because we've been so bad at the back, Jose's had to rotate and throw him in. Do you know what I mean? So it's a difficult one. It's been happening all season. It happened right at the start of the season when we dropped 3 goals against West Ham, showed how shaky we were. I mean, the Dynamo Zagreb game showed me a lot that it's a lot to do with the mentality of them players.
It's the mentality of the whole team for me. Every time we've had a goal lead, we've basically conceded a goal.
Every time.
Apart from the only game I can think where we actually held on was Fulham. That apart from that, every single time that we've been trying to hold on for 30 minutes, we've conceded at least one goal. And so for me, that's a leadership thing. It's a mentality thing. I think that is part player, but that is also part coaching as well. Jose has to do something in there, doesn't he?
100%. I'm not shifting the blame from the manager. Trust me, I'm not. I mean, the manager was at fault for a lot of things this season, and I'm sure if you asked him, he would agree with you as well. The problem is, there's a certain professionalism you've got to have as a player playing for Tottenham Hotspur, and if you can't handle that and that kind of willingness to put on the shirt and perform in a certain way against really bad opposition. No disrespect to Newcastle, they were a bad opposition. No disrespect to Brighton when we lost them, they're a bad opposition. Dynamo Zagreb was an incredible game to tell you that it wasn't actually just the manager. I'm not going to say it wasn't the manager, just the manager.
Yeah, of course. No one's saying it's just the manager, but it's it's a tango, right? It's like
things,
a combination. Yeah, it's a combination.
When you've got players at 2-0 up in against Dynamo Zagreb, and you've only got 45 minutes to hold on, and then you allow them to come back into the team. Yeah, I can't blame the coach, because everybody on that pitch was good enough to get that result against Dynamo Zagreb and go into the quarterfinals. Even when you look at today, we go 1-0 down, we go straight back in, we get the 2 goals. All of a sudden, after that, we're allowing them to come back in the game for no reason. We're giving up ball possession in the wide positions. We're giving easy free kicks away for no reason at all when they've got their backs against the wall. We're talking basics.
Yeah, and basics.
If you can't do the basics with a manager like Jose Mourinho, what can he do? Let's be really honest. You tell me.
Well, I think he could do little things like, getting the team to play more on the front foot when you're a goal up, rather than just sitting back and stop playing. Like they were trotting around like show ponies that whole second half, right? That's a coaching issue. You should be able to say to the team, I want you running and trying to get close to each other and trying to make little triangles through the midfield. You can coach that. Even from the touchline, you can coach that, right? But the fact that they just sat off and they were walking around like in that whole second half and allowing Newcastle to come onto you, for me, we've seen that all season. And for me, that's a coaching issue.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think Jose Mourinho is telling them to get a goal up and sit back? Is that what you think he's telling them?
Well, he's not saying go play on the front foot, is he? Clearly, because we haven't seen any of that.
You can see in the Amazon documentary last year, the man is screaming at them to get up the field. He doesn't want to concede possession. This is not something that let's get 2-1 up against Newcastle and we're just going to sit and hold. Lloris himself came out and said, Jose's fuming in that Dynamo game because he didn't understand why we gave that possession back to him. We gave the ball in their court to come at us. I mean, this is our captain, our club captain, telling us that the manager is saying this.
Yeah, but there's one thing saying it and another thing coaching it, right? So that documentary was over a year ago now, right? Yeah. And the same mistakes are happening.
Exactly.
Right. So, if I had a restaurant and my chefs kept making the same errors a year later, I should be the one that's sacked as manager.
No, the chef should be sacked.
Well, yeah, but if the next, but you see what I'm saying though? If you own a restaurant and your staff kept fucking up over and over, and you had the chance to swap the staff around, and they're still making the same errors, that's the fucking coach's, that's the manager's fault.
No, listen, I take that on board. But if you're playing for me and I'm your manager, I can tell you to do something. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. If you don't do it, it's your fault. It's not my fault. I've told you to do what I want you to do. Okay, I've told you that I need you to do this, this, and this. If you're not doing it, I can talk till I'm blue in the face.
Well, then don't play them. Do you know what I mean? then you don't play these players next game.
Okay, who else are you going to play?
Yeah, okay, so that's a good point. I mean, because it's difficult to rotate.
This is why I'm screaming for a centre back. Do you understand?
Yeah.
There is nobody in that the whole defence, and I'm going to add Reguilon in there because he's been a bit shaky this season, but he's had some great games this season as well. Nobody takes the ball by the horns. Nobody really says, I'm going for this. I'm the leader. Van Dijk, and Maguire, even though Maguire hasn't had a great season, you can tell in the back line, he's that man. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then you can go through all the teams.
I think Højbjerg is kind of our leader. He's our leader. Yeah, right at the back. Yeah, Højbjerg, I thought, had a good game today, I have to say.
Yeah, Højbjerg has been brilliant the whole season. And I have to be honest, I feel sorry for him because it looks like he's the only CDM in there that really knows what he's doing. We look like in terms of the formations and stuff, you can blame the manager because it looks a bit iffy. I know we started with a 4-4-2 today, but a lot of the time when you've got somebody with Højbjerg, the team looks a lot more solid. Today, he didn't have anybody with him, unfortunately, because it looked like Tanguy and Lo Celso were switching out. So it's really him on his own. I feel sorry for him a little bit. There's a lot of good players in there, John. I'm not saying there ain't, but what I am saying is, like I go back to that Dynamo Zagreb game. You didn't need a manager for that game. I promise you. You could have been a manager for that game. You're 2-0 up. They need to score 3 goals to knock you out with no reply. It's not. It's down to them players on the pitch saying, "No, we're not having this." You've got to be leaders on the pitch. If you're not going to be a leader, there's no point playing for this club. The name is too big for you to sit here and kind of allow that to happen. And it's happened all season. West Ham, Brighton, Fulham last minute. Newcastle, by the way, right at the start of the season with the penalty.
Exactly.
I know it wasn't a penalty, but the first half we could have been 5-0 up, and Steve Bruce said it.
Mate, there were so many games. I think the Liverpool game and the Palace game, I think, were turning points as well, because I think their heads dropped straight after that, and I think that was when it all went to shit. If I'm being honest, they realised that they weren't going to win the league, and I think they just lost all kind of interest after that, and then it took them a while to just pick it up again. But you're right. But I mean, I don't even think this is just this season. I think this is an institutional thing with Spurs. Like, we've seen this time and time again with our arseholes fall out, and on the final hurdle. How many times have we seen this? Each season where we should be winning games and then we let it slip. I mean, that's just the Spursy, isn't it?
Do you know? Unless we are 2 to 3 goals up, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I know.
All of us are. It's not just me. All of us are, because we're looking at that team saying there's a mistake in there. I was watching the game today, and I said, I said to my dad, when St. Maximum came on, we should have really brought on Gareth Bale early to kind of counteract that substitution, because there's no point bringing him on when you're in the 85th minute and you've got a free kick and you want him to score a worldy free kick from 30 yards. To be fair to Steve Bruce, he made a little bit, he tactically kind of done us a little bit today, because he brought St. Maximum on. He changed the formation round with Willock as well, and we was in trouble. But we need to kind of take the ball by the horns a little bit earlier and get that third goal. And we've had chances today.
We had chances, but they were, like you said, they weren't taking it by the scruff of the neck, were they?
We're not, because we're 2-0 up. I mean, let's be honest.
2-1, yeah.
Sorry, 2-1. Let's be honest. We're going to Newcastle. We're 2-1 up. They're in absolute pieces. Let's be real. They haven't had a win for 2.5 months. Exactly. They're in absolute pieces. They don't know how to score a goal at the moment, and we've basically gifted them 2 goals. All you need to do is look at the first goal. I mean, what is Sanchez and Tanganga doing? I know that Jose wants to say that Tanganga is the right back, but I disagree. He's not a right back. He looks shaky today, really shaky. And that's against St. Maximum. Forget about on the 25th when we're coming up against Bernardo Silva, Sterling and Morris. This is what I'm talking about. So the players needed to be addressed in the summer, which wasn't addressed.
It's funny though that Andrew, because like we're all saying it was like, well, I didn't, but a lot of people saying 9 out of 10 transfer window, best in the Premier League, best we've ever had.
I said
a lot of fans got suckered in by that. Do you know what I mean? I said it was a 7 out of 10, but because I could still see that we were short. But I mean, there was a bit of investment there. But you're right. I mean, there was no. We didn't actually address the major areas that we needed.
We didn't at all. The major area in the summer, no matter what we all say, and we love the whole Hollywood signing of Gareth Bale, was right back and centre back. It has been for probably since Pochettino. It has been. The right back is not good enough. Even though I have to say that Aurier he's been decent this season. He's been improved. He hasn't been amazing, but he's been improved from what we've usually seen. He's been improved. When we look at the centre back, Toby, he's lost his legs. I'm sorry, he has lost his legs, and
he's still our best defender, though. Let's be honest.
He is. And the one thing I will blame Jose for today is that centre back pairing is just not the one you want. They're both, we say, young. They're both inexperienced to a high level of football. Rodon's basically a kid, and he looked better than Sanchez. He really did. And Rodon wasn't great. That's the area we need to address.
I didn't think Rodon was that good, but for some reason, a lot of other people thought he was having a good game. But I thought he was a yard off the pace.
No, I thought he was more than a yard off it.
Yeah.
I thought he was way behind the pace. And the only reason why
I thought so as well.
The only reason why some Spurs fans are probably saying that is because he made a couple of blocks. But let's be honest, the couple of blocks got given from giving possession up. And it was Rodon that was giving possession up. So you can say, great block, but you shouldn't be giving up possession in that area of the pitch.
I agree with that.
Sanchez done it a few times, even for the goal. Sanchez has an easy ball to clear, get rid. He doesn't need, and he's hit it low on the floor.
Like a little 12-yard pass or something.
It was ridiculous. And you're talking about that's a £42 million signing.
Don't.
Listen, let's put it in perspective. That's a record signing for Tottenham, the defender, and he is horrendous.
He looks like a youth product, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, he doesn't look that much better than Tanganga. I mean, you couldn't even say that he's a better defender than Tanganga. And Tanganga's 21 and just come through. You know, he hasn't even played that many games.
Tanganga's a better centre back than him. I really do. I think it should be Toby and Tanganga. You cannot play the rest of them. I'm sorry. There's too many mistakes too frequently to play Sanchez, in my opinion. I will say the same about Rodri, even though he's had a couple of games. But the couple of games he's played, we've conceded goals from individual errors, and that's an issue. So when you've got somebody like Tanganga, who's quite quick, actually, he can play with Toby. Toby's lost his legs, but he needs to be in there. He has to be in that team. But in that respect, I'm blaming the manager. In the respect that we make subs too slow, I'm blaming the manager because...
And poor substitutions as well, I think.
Yeah, there was.
This season.
I believe that Lo Celso should have come off for Gareth Bale probably around the half an hour to go mark, 60-minute mark. Yeah, he shouldn't be waiting to 85 to bring on Gareth Bale. But in the same way, we've only had 5 shots on target the whole game. On target, 5 shots. They've had 7, by the way. You wouldn't believe that, would you? They've had 7. So you've got to also look at what we are doing in the game. How much possession we have 60% possession. What are we doing with that possession? Why do we keep on getting it in the central midfield position and going back? It is simply continuous when we talk about we're having leads. We're trying to just play out the game. 2-1's good enough. Play out the game. Go back to our defenders. Make a defensive error like we have twice today and give them 2 goals away. So both of them goals were gifts today. If you look at the second goal, the balls came in and our 2 centre-backs ain't got a clue what they're doing. They're running into each other. Yeah. And then Willock's come at the back post because he's anticipated where the ball's going to go and he's tapped it in. Well done to him. But this is defensive error after defensive error after defensive error. And, he can't coach donkeys and they're donkeys. It's simple as that.
Personally, I think even if you got 2 world-class centre-backs in, we'd still be bottling it in these instances, holding out a lead. I mean, even last season with Vertonghen, right? So you got Vertonghen and Toby, quality centre-backs, especially last year, a bit younger, right? Yeah. Even if you notice in Vertonghen in the documentary, he's saying, why are we so bad at the back? Like, why are we so leaky? Like, if you remember his words, he goes, I think we're missing a trigger or something. Like, that to me, it's got nothing to do with personnel. That is a structural issue. That is a mentality issue. That's a leadership issue. That's actually, I think, it's been waning ever since like the peak Poch era, if I'm being honest with you. So I don't put that down to individual players personally. I just think there's no leadership. The mentality's wrong from the whole team.
The problem is, John, when we talk about leadership and mentality is different to leadership. When you've got kind of a player who's got a great mentality, like for example Harry Kane, it don't matter what team he's in, he's going to score goals. Simple as that. But then when we come to the actual leaders in the team, Harry's a leader up front, hence why he's trying to drop into centre-back position to pick up the ball. But that's it. Son's gone missing last couple of months.
Yeah, agreed.
Lucas Moura had a couple of good games in a number 10 position. Apart from that, he hasn't been that good this season. We look at Ndombele. He's been brilliant at times, and then he looks like he just can't be bothered at times. Lo Celso's been injured. And then we go to our centre-back. There's not one leader in that team.
I think Højbjerg is a leader.
I'll give you Højbjerg, but Højbjerg, he cannot do it apart from him and Kane. They can't do it on their own. If I go through Liverpool, I'm not going to go through Liverpool because they're the champions of England. I can go through a lot of teams, including, let's say, even someone like Aston Villa. They've got Tyrone Mings. They've got Grealish. These type of players, you can tell they're leaders on the pitch. And they're structural leaders on the pitch at centre-back, up in an attacking position. We look and if we say who's the leader at the back, somebody told me Lloris. Now, Lloris cannot be a leader from the position he's in. He just cannot. And I'm not gunning out Lloris, but he hasn't been great this season. He's been poor. Mistake again after mistake after mistake. So, and to buy a leader, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Again, that's gonna be a problem for us because our board like to keep loads of money in the bank and go on holiday on their yachts.
Exactly.
And that let's be honest, that's the main issue is our.
That's what it really comes down to, right?
Yeah, it does.
Right at the very, very top.
We've said this for years, though. We've said it for years.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you ask any Tottenham fan, you speak to Tottenham fans every week, they'll tell you that leadership is the biggest problem. Positional play is the other problem, and we can't always keep chopping and changing and blaming this person, blaming that person. Whoever's on the pitch has to take, you know, kind of a bit of leadership themselves, even if they don't believe they're that leader. It can't only be Kane. It just can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Andrew, we normally talk for 8 minutes on these, but we talked for 20 minutes, so that was a good one, man. That was a no, it's all good, man. I was just, it's good when I get a little bit of fire from someone, I work well with it. You know what I mean?
No, it's good.
I could talk to you for an hour, I'm sure.
We could talk all day, man. It's the way, you know, it's someone's anger built up from Tottenham.
I know. It's just, it's not just like this season anger. It's like,
no, it's not.
Like since the 80s, it's all been like bottled up. You know, it's like, it's just residual. You know,
it's 2 trophies in 29 years, mate.
That's the anger. Yeah, that's the feeling. You know what I mean?
Because we keep on seeing this on a yearly basis.
I know, that's the thing, and everyone gets their hopes up, and then you see the same shit that happens, the same assholes fall out every season. Doesn't matter what 11 players are playing; it's the same thing every fucking season. Every generation of Spurs players, it's always the fucking same. Anyway, happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you guys and to the whole crew there. We are Tottenham TV.
Cheers, man. And we appreciate your support, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers, Andrew. Take care.
Bye-bye.